is up, all of you awesome and amazing people on YouTube? Katadyn Be here, coming at you with another exciting video. So that is basically how I trekked in here to Glen Camp and how I plan on trekking into future outings, backpacking adventures, camping trips. You get the idea. Let's take a look at the rig. So what I've got going on here is, actually, hold on a sec. Come out of this thing. Okay, a lot easier for me. Okay, so this is basically the rig, right? It's a game cart, and the modifications that I made to it were I turned the handle part backwards and then also 180 up. The way this thing was originally designed was that the handle goes out this way, which doesn't make any sense because then when you tilt it over to try to find balance, that part's too low, the handle part's too low. So as you can see from me just walking by, you kind of get a sense of, I have these like a chest harness, which is most athletic places would carry this. I'll try to put a link down below in the description. Then I've got two carabiners, multi-purpose. I can use these for a whole bunch of different things. That's why I use this hardware. Then I've got the two straps that originally came with the game cart itself. So it's finding that perfect balance of how low this is going to hang to where you find your balance point, where it's not leaning forward or tilting back, but also that thing isn't hitting you in the butt, right? For me, I think it came close to hitting me in the back of the thighs. But anyways, you get the idea. So two milk crates, heavier stuff is on the bottom, cooking stuff is down there. There's, I think my hammock is down there. Some of the hardware that I used to hang my hammock is also down there. Then the top crate is usually clothes, lighter things that I'm gonna need for like the Underquilt Protector and like my tarp. I think the Superfly tarp is in there. Bunch of different stuff. On the top, the day pack, always carry a day pack. Always. That's just good. That's just good, smart thinking. But I always carry a day pack. I've got some essential items in there, some aspirin, Tylenol, got some magnesium, potassium, vitamins, that kind of stuff. And then my water is also in there too. I've got a water bladder in there, the MSR dromedary. So a lot of good stuff going on with this whole setup. Here's what it looks like from this side, but you kind of get an idea of how everything came together. And then the Sea to Summit bags, one's my underquilt, one's my, sorry, that one's my underquilt, that one's my top quilt, I think, right? Yeah, underquilt, top quilt. You saw those in a previous video. On the side there, I've got just a piece of what used to be an old poster, Pepsi poster, that I use as like a kind of like a, not a ground cloth, but just more of like, when I get out of the hammock, I can step onto something without having to step onto the ground itself. So it's just a little bit of layer. That way my socks don't get all screwed up. Because walking around with socks at this campsite is kind of interesting. I think anywhere, really. Okay, my only gripe about this cart is the wheels. The wheels are way too heavy. I need to find a caster and wheel person. I think I know somebody that does that kind of thing. I need to find lighter wheels that are maybe as strong. The cart itself is rated for 500 pounds, right? Because it's meant to haul like a huge something or other out of the forest, if you know, if you're into that kind of thing. But what I did was I just kind of turned it into my backpacking cart. So this is perfect. I can, you know, if I'm doing the public transportation thing where like, hey, I'm gonna go meet somebody somewhere and then we're gonna carpool together, this easily fits onto a bus. You can easily bring it on to like the Red Line or the Gold Line out here in Southern California. There's some bicycle riders that came up for the day riders. I guess they're doing lunch or whatever. But I'm on my way out of here, so I kind of gave them the campsite to use for the rest of the day. Anyways, that's basically it. I've tried other carts that are similar to this, and best bang for the buck, if you want the budget, if you just want something that'll haul your stuff from point A to point B, honestly, this to me is the way to go. The problems I had with the other carts that I tried, I'm not mentioning any names, but you can kind of figure it out on your own. One was designed to work with like a backpack, right? So your backpack became the frame of the cart. That thing was so complicated to figure out the first time I used it. And if you need to like go over a log or a rock or something, the wheels on that other one were too small, right? And also, if you got to imagine that when you have a backpack on, and then your backpack becomes the frame of the cart. You had a rod across the bottom that was going across your back, and then you had another rod that was going across the top. So it's like, do you really want that digging into your back if you do have to cross a stream or a river? It doesn't make any sense, because you're going to wear it like a backpack, right? With the wheels and the thing, you'd have to take the whole thing apart. It's going to take you forever. This way, with those big wheels, I can just roll through a stream. On the way up here to Glen Camp, I went through, there were some spots where it was like an inch or two of water, but there were some spots where it was like 5 or 6 inches of water. So inside the milk crates, I put trash bags, and then I put my stuff inside the trash bags. That way everything is like waterproof. So if it gets a little side splash or whatever, it's fine. But if you're thinking about getting some kind of backpacking cart, trekking cart, you know, that kind of vibe, a hiking cart where you just don't want to carry a backpack, I would take a look at this video and seriously consider what's going on here, right? 2 milk crates, you got a day pack to leave the cart and your stuff and go, you know, go explore the beautiful trails that are around, right? This is Glen Camp, West Fork, San Gabriel Mountains, but you can go do your thing and then come back to camp or whatever and still be, you know, still have all your stuff. And then another thing to consider too is the weight. You know, a lot of these other weight and price, a lot of these other backpacking carts that I've seen or hiking carts that I've seen, $700, $800. Yeah, it comes with a brake and it comes with this and that. But I mean, I think, you know, the noodle mod up there kind of helped me. So when I'm going downhill, the noodle mod kind of helps to absorb some of that impact if the cart like happens to catch me. But that's that balance point thing, you know, trying to find the right distance between the cart and the harness so that you get that perfect hammock kind of a lay would be the best analogy I could describe. You know, you just want the cart to be swinging. I mean, ideally it's not swinging, but you want the cart to be flat and level and all the weights distributed evenly between the front and the back. And as you're hiking along, you're just basically towing it. And if you go down a hill, there's enough slack to where it's not hitting you, but there's just enough slack to where when your body moves, it doesn't swing into your body, if that makes any sense. So anyways, you kind of get a sense of what's going on here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll put a link to this cart and most of the stuff that you see here in the description section, so make sure to check that out. I hope this video helped someone out there. My dilemma for trying to find a backpacking cart took me to this point, and I'm glad it did. And this is the best solution that I've found that works for me. Hopefully it'll work for someone out there as well. Or even if you get an idea from it, great. Anyways, catch you on the next video.